And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. I'm Kyle Wright, the Assistant Athletic Director and Sports Information Director for the Red Wolves. It is my honor to be here for the first time with the new track and field head coach of the Red Wolves, Gus Schmader. So Gus, great to have you here aboard in Richmond.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, we'll get right into it. We'll let our viewers get to know you a bit. If you could start by just telling us a bit about how you got into track and field, and we understand you had quite a successful competitive career, so tell us a bit about your competitive career as well.
Okay. I got into track in 9th grade, freshman year, a senior at the school. He convinced me to come out to a track meet, and I went to the first track meet. I started practicing the next week, and I kind of fell in love with it ever since. I really didn't get that good until probably, I'd say, my junior year when I won my first state championship, and that was in the indoor 300 meters, and I won 2 more outdoor that year, but they were both on relays. And then my senior year, I won the state championship in the long jump. And after that, I actually went into the Marine Corps, so I had a little bit of hiatus from track and field. But once I went to college, I went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. And while I was there, I ended up being a 16-time All-American and a 2-time national champion. We broke the national record in the indoor and outdoor 4x4. So I'd say we had a pretty successful team. We also won a team national championship my senior year as well. Just the overall atmosphere, the camaraderie, and also the ability to stand out as an individual in track and field is what attracted me. And I kind of just fell in love with it and stayed with it.
And you mentioned you've stayed into a coaching career. Talk a little bit about what made you interested in coaching track and field, and then the stops you've made in your a very successful coaching career as well.
As an athlete, I became a track and field junkie. So I fell in love with the stats, who was running what, who was doing where, how to develop athletes, what makes them better from, the physical and the psychological standpoint. I had an excellent collegiate track and field coach who was great at both aspects, but especially the psychological. He made you believe in yourself, believe in what you were doing, and we were just extremely confident. And so just learning a lot from him and seeing how he moved made me want to get into coaching. So, once I got in and saw what it was like on the other end, I just loved it and stayed with it. So I first started at Lincoln University. And from there, I branched off to St. Francis University, which is in the mountains of western Pennsylvania. And that was an interesting stop. I loved it out there. Real good people, small town, but just real supportive athletic department. We had a great program, great teams, multiple conference champions, national qualifiers, school records. Those athletes really, helped me propel my career to the next level, I think. And from there, I moved on to Pratt Institute and then to Barton College, which is in Wilson, North Carolina. And that was my last stop prior to coming to IUE.
And I believe you've had some experience at the international level as well. I'm sure our viewers would like to hear a little bit about that. Yeah,
so I guess between 2003, 2007, I ran internationally for Liberia. So that's where I'm from. From everything from all African games to competitions in Canada. We made a stop in Europe to the Olympics, from just everything in between. So we had a great time. I went to a number of different countries, places that people have never heard of, Mauritius probably being the main one. Every time I talk about that meet and that competition and experience, everybody wants to know where it is, so I have to pull it up on a map on my phone.
And, well, we won't make you pull up a map on your phone, but roughly where is that?
So it is east of Madagascar. For those that don't know, Madagascar is an island off the southeastern point of the continental Africa. So it stretches out from there, sort of like Hawaii is to California.
Okay. And you've done a little bit of individual coaching at the international level as well?
So I worked with a friend of mine and I guess a mentee, Jermaine Morris. He did extremely well for himself. He came a long way. He started off at 14.4 and he was able to get down into the 13 mids, and he was a finalist at 2 Jamaican national championships, and also Rashane Scott, who was he was actually moved on and became a D2 All-American. He was a runner-up in D2 nationals, and he also competed at the Jamaican national trials. And then a family member, a cousin of mine who ran with me for Liberia.
Okay. So obviously you've been a lot of places, done a lot of great things. How did you hear about this opportunity here at IU East, and then what attracted you to this opportunity here?
So I saw the name and I saw the opportunity, and I remember that somebody I knew had came over to the school. And I was checking up on her program just because that's what I do, to see how people are doing. And she's done extremely well while she was here. The basketball team has been very successful.
You're speaking of Coach Selhorst,
the women's basketball coach. So it made me look into the program a little bit more. And once I spoke to her about it, about the school, the opportunity, and just the idea, she was extremely positive and supportive and said that she think it'd be a great opportunity, and I did as well.
Okay. And we're obviously thrilled to have you here. You're hitting the ground running. Just talk about, kind of outline sort of the program you're hoping to build or planning to build here at IU East.
Okay, first and foremost, we need to recruit. We do have a small team, so the best way to build a team, pretty much the only way to build a team, is to recruit. And not only locally, but nationally. We want to reach out to everybody that we can, build a name for ourselves, kind of build our own brand. And also with the athletes on the team, we want to develop. So recruiting is one thing, but we have to be able to coach and develop these athletes to get better so that we can get better performances in the conference championships, and then we can move athletes on to the national championships.
Okay. So hopefully we've got some returning athletes who are watching this. They may not have had a chance to meet you yet. Just your message to the returning IU East track and field athletes who are coming back for the 17-18 season.
I'd say to them, just come prepared to work, leave the excuses at home, and be ready. We're going to definitely get better. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to put IU East on the map.
And a similar question, this one to future Red Wolves. Hopefully we'll have some recruits who will be watching this interview. What's your message to future IU East recruits, just why they should choose to spend their 4 years here as a Red Wolf?
IU East is a great place to be, definitely a comfortable environment, family friendly. And I guess as a program and as a coach, I'm an open book. So if you do have questions when you're looking on the website, feel free to shoot me an email and ask those questions. And that could lead to a conversation, and hopefully I can answer everything for you.
Okay. And anything else, again, for one of your first days on the job, anything else that Red Wolf Nation should know about you as we head into your first season?
Well, I'm here ready to work, and I expect to make everybody proud.
Okay, well, we're certainly thrilled to have you aboard. So thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon. And we will be right back here on Inside IU East Sports.